What is the difference between this and this, you might ask? They look exactly the same. They were both printed on xTool printers, but the difference is astounding, and I could not believe it. Literally almost 10 minutes. Okay, so this video is going to be a little bit different than my typical videos because I wasn't actually intending to do this video. I didn't even realize this video was needed. I didn't know there was such a vast question. Well, I knew there was a question. I didn't realize the answer was what it is, what it is. So today I am going to show you basically a rewind of a video that I was already recording. The video was how to make transfers with your xTool Omni DT Fabric model. But in the middle of that, it basically got blown up by this other side quest that I went on. And I'm going to show you that in real time, my own reactions in real time, because I can't fake this. I can't act surprised. I can't be anything other than genuinely shocked at what I found. And I want you to see that. So some of this video is kind of raw. It's not how I would really usually present it, but I do want to show you that because I want you guys to understand that there is, while yes, this xTool fabric model can do DTF transfers, and it does them beautifully. If you are running a shop, and I have seen this question repeatedly from people who are like, I am going to run a shop that does DTF shirts. That's going to be my main thing. I'm thinking about getting the Omni. It's like, hold on, do not add to cart. Watch this first. For now, ink density 100%, white 100%. You could drop this down. I typically put my white at 75%. And if you're on a white shirt, you can go even lower than that. I don't even think you need 2 layers of this, but I'm going to leave that because it is the default. Okay, next, just bring in our file. So I'm just going to click import. This is right now large. You can see it's almost 12 by 12. I'm going to make it smaller. And I'm going to do one other thing. I am going to see, because we'll be able to process and it'll give us an estimate of how long it's going to take. I am going to see how long it would take to print on the Omni versus also on my Apparel printer. Okay, so that's going to be an interesting comparison. Okay, so now I've got this as like 6 by 6. So this would be for like a child shirt. This is all you have to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click process, and it's telling me that this, first of all, it's telling me this estimated time. Okay, so it's going to take about 10.5 minutes to print this. While it's printing, we're going to take the exact same file and we're going to switch over to see what it would take, how long it would take on the xTool Apparel printer. How long this would take. So what did we say? We had, let's make sure we've got it in the same. So we've got 100%, we've got 75, which was the same. Quantity mirrored. I'm not sure if it's going to let us. Look at this. 1 minute and 45 seconds is how long it would take on the xTool Apparel printer. 10 minutes. Over 10 minutes on the O1 Omni. Wow, I am shocked. Now for the why. Why is it 6 times as long on the Omni? Well, it's actually the functionality of the printer itself. So the xTool Omni DT Fabric model does have 2 print heads, but I'm going to show you. I'm moving this up over top so that you can see what's happening while it's actually printing. Now, ignore the fact that there's an instruction manual behind it. If you watch my other video, I explain why it's set up this way. What the Omni does is it has one dedicated print head for all of DTF and DTG. So that means it has a full set of CMYK and white in one print head when it's in DTF or DTG mode. So that print head puts down all of the CMYK. So the full transfer in color is being printed first. This is in real time. I did not speed this up intentionally. So you can see this 6 by 6 or whatever size it was, it's printing the whole thing. What it's going to do next, after it prints all the color, because it only has one print head for DTF, is it's got to go back and lay down the white. the whole layer of white. Now, if you remember, I mentioned in the video while I was setting up, it has it as a default of 2 layers of white, which means it has to then do a whole second layer of white, which means the Omni takes 3 complete passes. So if you only did one of those passes and you put down CMYK and white together, which by the way is how the xTool apparel printer does, you would get down to about, let's say, a third of the 10-minute time and make that, let's just call that 3.5 minutes. Okay, so that is where the time is being spent. So my guess is if I changed it to off of the defaults and made it 1 layer of color and 1 layer of white, we would probably drop about 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes of time. So we would now be at, let's just call it 6.5, 7 minutes. Still significantly longer to print one transfer than it does on the apparel printer. Now, as soon as this tracks back and starts printing the white, I want you to see the process, because I'm going to show you, because as you saw in the video, I printed the apparel printer at the exact same time, this same design, and I'm going to show you the difference so that you can understand, oh, now it's making sense, because on the apparel printer, so see here, this is where the Omni, it put all the color down, the full layer of color. Now it literally retracted the platen back, and now it's laying down the white with each pass. Okay, so there's no UV curing, obviously, when you're in DTF or DTG mode. And I'm going to let this run for just a second so that you can see how the white's being laid down. I'm sure you can see it over the text right now. Okay, now, while that continues to print, I am going to take you over to my DTF printer, which is just on the other side of the room. So we're going to go on a little ride here. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. Now, I am going to, here you go, it's still printing, okay? It is just now, at this point, starting the 3rd layer, so the second white layer. Now, here's my xTool apparel printer, printing the exact same design. I want you to watch this as it prints. So right now, we've got all color. Remember, the xTool apparel printer also has 2 print heads, but one is dedicated completely to DTF CMYK, and the other is dedicated completely to DTF white, which means it can essentially trail itself. See how the white is already starting to be laid down? Color is being laid down in this visual at the top, and white is being laid down towards the bottom and trying to catch up. It will never catch up to the color, but this is the massive difference, and this is what the 2 print heads do. And this is why we are saving so much time. It's not because one is unilateral and one is bilateral. It's not because one isn't going the full distance across. It's not because the print head itself is faster. It's because it has 2 print heads and it can do 2 things at the same time, where the Omni simply cannot. So the burning question has become, I am going to run a business with a shirt or apparel as a primary focus. I think I want to get the Omni DT because that's the one that will allow me to do everything. It will allow you to do everything, technically, but it will take you an immense amount of time, and you will never be able to scale your business this way. Now, that's done. I'm going back, and the Omni is still printing. Still printing that same design. You saw it was completely unedited. So here is your answer if you are wanting to invest in a DTF printer. And this is why I warn that hybrid machines are great. They are a jack of all trades, but they are an expert in basically none of them. They can't be. Okay, so there you have it. Were you as shocked and as speechless as I was when you saw exactly why it takes 10 minutes versus 1 minute to do these? Same exact size, same exact design, everything. But I do think, and I hope you agree, that the why explains it. That's It's as simple as that. You've basically got one print head doing the job that two print heads do in the apparel printer. And don't even forget, we didn't even get to the part that what you get out of this transfer printer or out of this Omni. What you get is a wet transfer. It's like 60% done. So what you need to do next is then you need to manually powder it. Then you need to use a curing oven or something like the Wonder Press that has a curing oven to cure that. And then you can finally take that transfer and apply it to a shirt. The xTool apparel printer, if you have the inline system, which in this case is not actually inline, it's a vertical setup, which is great for space saving, but it has the powder in there. It cures itself and it heats itself, and what you end up with is literally a finished transfer that you are then just ready to go. So you are not doing anything manual after you hit print for the apparel printer. For this printer, you have to load the transfer paper. You have to hit print. Then after it prints, after 10 minutes, you can go get a whole cup of coffee. Then you have to do all the other manual steps after that. So that is why I cannot stress enough. This machine is not for those of you who are planning to sell transfers. If you want it for, to make stuff for your kids, if you're going to do every once in a while, if you have a shop and you're looking for, prototypes, if you do print on demand, but you want to have a couple of examples that you can show customers, great option. Not a great option if you are making this your primary DTF printer. It's not going to be able to keep up with the demand that I'm sure you're hoping you have. With that said, does that mean don't get an Omni? Absolutely not. If you are getting the Omni, I am assuming it is because it does UV and you're also interested in the DT part of that if you have this model. So what does that mean? That means get the single UV Omni or get the dual UV Omni, but do not count on this one to do transfers if you're planning to use that for a core business. If your core business is shirts, apparel, or other things that require transfers, because it's just not going to be able to keep up, like I said, with the demand. Now, if you are looking for help on getting started with your Omni, your laser, your DTF, your silhouette, your sublimation, whatever it is, I offer all of that through Silhouette U. I also offer business advice, what you're interested in buying, all of that through Silhouette U. So anything you see here on my channel, which I know has been Omni heavy for a bit now, I offer personalized same-day US-based support, so you're not waiting around. My members are not waiting around. I also have videos that I put on Silhouette U that you won't see here on YouTube. Okay. All right. So I will link to everything in the description below. I'll also throw a coupon code for 50% off Silhouette U. The code is YouTube. So when you join, you can get it at a discount. And I hope to see you guys soon.